covering Montana right now. This is ABC Local News at 5.
It's been a heartbreaking 24 hours since we first learned about the tragic death of Lieutenant Colonel Ian McBeth. Good evening, I'm Taylor Tucker. Colonel McBeth, assigned to the 120th Airlift Wing at the Montana Air National Guard, was the pilot of the C-130 that crashed in Australia while trying to fight the bushfires. Now, our continuing coverage takes us to the site where the plane went down. You're getting a first-hand look at the debris remaining from yesterday's crash. We're told investigators are working through the field, hoping to recover the bodies of all 3 men that were on board. Now we have full team coverage for you as we learn more about this crash. Forrest Allreed is in the studio and will tell us more about the type of plane Colonel McBeth was flying. But first, we go to Afik Hisham, who sat down with the McBeth family this morning.
Taylor, when I walked into the McBeth home, I was surprised to see how full it was. Just hours after hearing about the tragic news, family and friends were already there, not just to give their respects, but their support as well. And while the past 24 hours have been surreal for everyone involved, for Colonel McBeth's daughter, Abby, processing the loss of her father has left her with memories that she'll treasure for a lifetime.
My dad was a very, just fun person.
When Colonel McBeth wasn't flying and fighting fires, he was spending the majority of his time with family.
We went hiking a lot, we'd walk our dogs, we really enjoyed skiing together. There's actually a photo of us. My dad, we had this ski trailer and he'd take me skiing when I was 3, and it was pretty funny because he'd like to tip it on the side just to make me scream.
That was something he was good at, playing pranks and making jokes. But on a recent trip to the Grand Canyon, Abby finally got the chance to give him a dose of his own medicine.
My aunt had these organic macaroons, and it was lavender and lemon, and I took a bite out of it and I was like, this is the worst thing ever. So I went up to my dad and I gave him it, and he put the whole thing in his mouth, and the look on his face, he spit it out and he's like, did you just feed me soap? And it was just one of the best memories.
Surrounded by friends and family, Abby showed me some pictures of her and her dad.
Honestly, I just think about how much I miss my dad. Thanks.
And even if it was just for a split second, you could still see what joy he brings to her.
We were telling stories about this one today. As a father, he was super supporting. He always made sure that my homework was done. He always wanted me to do the best that I possibly could in school and have as many opportunities as I could.
And it's that support that Abby wants to share with everyone.
I just want everyone to see how wonderful he was as a person. I know everyone calls him a hero, but just overall with his family and everything, I just want everyone to realize that he was all around just a wonderful person. I just want everyone to know how wonderful he was and how missed he will be. He was always so loving and caring. I hope everyone realizes that anything can happen, and you just cherish the memories that you have with the people that you love. Because I never thought this would happen, but just cherish everyone.
Moments ago, you just saw pictures of Colonel McBeth guiding his daughter in how to use a plane's cockpit. While his legacy may continue through her, as she tells me she's going through some pilot training as she eventually strives to fill her father's shoes and become a pilot of her very own. Reporting live from Great Falls, I'm Afik Hisham, Montana, right now.
All right, thank you, Afik. It's a tough story to follow today. Now, our team coverage continues with Forrest Allreed. Forrest, you spent some time researching the type of plane that Colonel McBeth was flying. What did you find out?
Taylor, C-130s are built to be big enough to carry a fire truck, but they can take off and land on very short or unimproved runways like a long dirt road or a grassy field, making them great for many overseas missions. The one McBeth was flying was carrying a load of fire retardant, and it was on a firebombing mission. The video you are seeing is video of the exact plane McBeth was on. The plane crashed after losing contact with ground control. However, we do not know how it crashed. Between McBeth and the other airmen on board, they had thousands of hours of experience flying in C-130s. In fact, according to Reuters, this was just the second C-130 crash since 2012 involving a Joint Defense Department Forest Service plane, the first of which crashed due to weather conditions. Shortly after the crash, Coulson, the company who owns the plane Macbeth was flying, released this statement saying, "Our deepest condolences are with the family and friends of our fallen heroes." Reporting in the studio, Forrest Allreed, Montana Right Now.
All right, thank you, Forrest. Now, as we mentioned, there were 2 other men on that plane, so let's show you who they were. We start with First Officer Paul Hudson. He was 42 years old and lived in Arizona and is leaving behind his wife. He spent 20 years in the Marine Corps with experience flying C-130s. Hudson retired as a lieutenant colonel. Joining Macbeth and Hudson was flight engineer Rick DeMorgan Jr. He was 43 years old. DeMorgan has nearly 2,000 hours in a combat environment and over 4,000 hours as a flight engineer. He was from Florida and is survived by his 2 children. Governor Steve Bullock has ordered all flags in the state to be flown at half-mast tomorrow to honor Lieutenant Colonel Macbeth. In a statement sent to KFBB, Governor Bullock said Ian took his call of duty even further to help those in need across the world, and we will always be grateful for Ian's service.